Hello, and welcome to Quackalope. This is Jesse Anderson, I'm John Bigas, and thank you so much for being here today.
As far as I'm aware, we've never started the introduction.
I know, I'm trying to keep it short and succinct and straight to the point.
We're clearly doing that.
If you haven't yet, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. Anything you can do to spread the voice, to spread the idea of Quackalope, we would be very appreciative.
Already way too long. They've unsubscribed. They're totally not paying attention.
At least it's not 5 minutes.
That being said, let me just follow up with this. This is road trip number 2. If you don't have context for what that means, check out our 5-hour-long road trip podcast over on the Patreon. Enough said there. We are unboxing Everdell now.
Yes, we are.
I know what you're thinking. Is that Everdell the Collector's Edition? It is. That arrived 8 months ago.
Look, but in addition to that,
I've been playing Jan's copy of Everdell. I haven't had a need to unbox mine, and I like saving things so that I can open them on camera.
well, you were waiting for
everything.
Yes, we have Pearlbrook, we have Spirecrest, and we have Belfaire.
And apparently, we have extra copies of all the upgraded components that I technically didn't need because it comes in the Collector's Edition already. Jan gave me. You don't leave it in the comment section below, but Jan already gave me all the crap I needed. This is going to be our unboxing video.
It is. It's going to be awesome.
Like all of our other unboxing videos, though, we are familiar enough with this title that we will be talking you through the components, the how it plays, what everything's set up. This will be much closer to an overview video as we take things out, and you'll see nice quality B-roll of everything displayed and set up, and so on and so forth.
And
is this the introduction you were thinking of?
This is much better. This is much better. I love it.
You realize we're like 4 minutes in, and there was
no. We're talking about the game already, which is great.
We're not currently.
Oh. And speaking of overviews, what is Everdell? So Everdell is a tableau building, hand management. It kind of works like a deck builder, but it isn't really. Where you're trying to draft cards into a grid of cards, trying to maximize and gain resources in order to gain new cards that will give you points at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's got a very nice, not quite crunchy, but like on the edge of crunch, kind of mid-weight tableau building with a lot of decisions that go into how you fill out this very limited pool of actions. It also has, what's that mechanic called where it's a worker placement, but you're trying to extend your turn for as long as possible. I mean, you're using the resources.
I don't know what the term is, actually.
I'm not sure. If you know the term, leave it in the comment section down below, but there are seasons that you're playing through, and you start with like 2 or 3 workers. And you can make your turn last like 7 or 8 or 9 rounds in a single season with only those few workers.
If you're ever trying to determine who's doing the best in Everdell, it's whoever who can maximize their actions in a particular season. Yeah, that's the number one way.
Maximizing actions would be the closest to kind of the terminology that I could think of. That being said, we're just going to open pretty stuff.
And talk about it a little bit. A lot.
I'm
We're going to probably talk about it a lot.
Stuff.
So is it time to be respectfully quiet?
Oh, you always are so weird when it comes to
because I get excited.
I tell the camera I'm gonna cut a scene in the side of the box. Okay, so that's the start.
Okay, first step.
And then say, like now, always,
respectfully quiet.
We're gonna be respectfully quiet.
Is that happening now? Oh, sorry. Look at that shrink. Okay, so first thing is that you have incredible artwork.
And now, I throw the shrink to the side and I say something along the lines of, "Get out of here, shrink," and then I start talking again.
So the first thing we'll notice is that we have a gorgeous
slip-on cover. This is, well, yeah, for the Collector's Edition, absolutely. I'm going to set this carefully down and to the side, just displaying some of the artwork that you're already seeing B-roll of, I'm sure. Now, we don't really need to talk about the artwork much in this game because I think everyone that has covered it talks about the artwork perpetually. Like,
hey, Andrew Bosley is a genius.
There is genuinely a really amazing game underneath this. That being said, can I just take a second to talk about the artwork? Because this is everything that me as Redwall-loving, Mossflower-loving, little animal creatures with a civilization-loving Jesse wants. Like, this is pure nostalgia for me, like, as deep as it goes.
This is your Grail game, basically, in a lot of ways.
Any game that, like, Humblewood, Root, Everdell, any of these games that bring in this little forest-type civilization are genuinely, like, in my, like, I'm so sorry, but I will be biased for games like this above anything else you produce.
And beyond that, like the kind of like the world building that they did, that's insinuated throughout every single card, is just gorgeous. Like there's thought put into this, and that's what I feel makes it so cohesive of a package.
You can see the animals, you can see the types of clothing they wear, the buildings they have. It's certainly, there are human elements to it. What's it called where you add human traits to
Humanistic, something like that.
No, that's not the word. Well, there's a word that it's called when you
Anthropomorphic.
when you add human personalities and identities to creatures. So that exists in here, but you can still see cultures and lifestyles that would be associated with tiny little paws and birds that are roosting at the inn instead of like humans showing up.
It feels like something that could actually exist in an alternate universe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels real.
So first off, we're going to read the entire rules of playbook to them.
Of course, that's what you're here for, right?
Yep, so just start slowly reading through that.
Overview. In Everdell, you will be deploying, this is a rulebook, you also have a secondary rulebook for the Collector's Edition specifically that will give you some descriptors
There's
as
a few
to what's
extra
exclusive
cards,
to
a
that.
few extra content and things in here. We have the assembling the tree. So we have the hardcore. Go ahead and pull that out real quick.
Oh, this is beautiful, by the way. Have you ever seen
It
this
is.
built
I
up?
believe.
Okay, keep going now. It's crinkly. It's not my fault. Look, I didn't break anything. It's fine. It's okay. So, the wooden Evertree.
I believe you have the wooden Evertree, right?
We do.
So,
well, yes.
So I have played with it. I've seen it before. Now, I want to make sure you didn't skip over. Here. I want to make sure. Okay. Seriously, Jan?
No, don't do it, Jesse. Don't do it. This is an overview video.
A new year begins. Within the charming valley of Everdell, beneath the boughs of the towering trees, among the meandering streams and mossy hollows, a civilization of forest critters is thriving and expanding. Ever since famed adventurer Corin Evertail discovered the hidden realms long ago, the citizens have prospered under the shelter of the enduring Evertree. From Everfrost to Bellsong, many a year have come and gone, but the time has come for new territories to be settled and new cities established. You will be the leader of a group of critters intent on just such a task. There are buildings to construct, lively critters to meet, events to host. It will be a busy year. Will the sun shine brightest on your city before the winter moon rises? Prepare to be enchanted by the wondrous world of Everdell. Once you are here, you might never, ever want to leave.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard. I've never heard the lore.
Wearing in the path that
Oh my God! No! Okay, this is enough.
Laying down the floor.
We gave you your flavor.
They have music in there.
There is music in there, which we're not singing.
So you don't like to hear me sing?
Well, not on the channel. Not while we're actively opening a box. So, I've brought out a few little things. First off, we have the main board of the game. This is a huge board, and it's actually modular. So you can, when you start adding expansions in, you'll start seeing how everything kind of like locks in together and continues on this really nice artwork that's already here.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Here, I'm starting to build up the Evertree.
In neoprene?
Yeah, actually, I don't know that exists
It doesn't yet. It doesn't
right?
yet.
Yeah,
But
that's
there's
what
things
I thought.
that I need. There's things that I need.
There's things that everyone
So you're
needs.
building up the wooden Evertree. This one here is going to be the cardboard Evertree, which I'm actually not gonna. I'm not gonna go ahead and punch out because with this one constructed, I have no need to have both of them.
Correct.
And then we have our different locations and scoring regions here for completing certain tasks or objectives, places where you can place your meeples to kind of get victory points. Ultimately, this will boil down into a resource management and then victory point scoring game. You're trying to convert all of your actions, all of your resources, everything you're doing throughout the course of the game into those beautiful golden coins.
That are in the Collector's Edition.
Yeah, so in the Collector's Edition here, I have a pile of beautiful metal coins. Probably one of my favorite upgrades ever is going to be actual clickety-clacks. So
and not just that, in the Collector's Edition, you also have berries that feel like berries.
Yeah, they've
You
got
have
a little
pieces
bit
of wood too.
They've got a little bit of squish. These little cubes are going to be our
door tokens.
our doors. I have I have stickers somewhere. These stickers go on them, and then we have incredible wooden meeples.
Oh, the best meeples.
Well, there's root.
Well, sure, but
Like,
these
they're-
are gorgeous too.
No, but it's a hard competition. I just have to say, in challenging for cute little animal meeples, these are right up there, and I love some wooden components. We have our hedgehogs, we have our turtles, we have I think a mouse and a squirrel.
It's amazing. I love it. Then we have our pebbles, we have our wooden pieces, and we have 3 cost coins right there.
Okay.
We have amber, and as I said, berries.
And we don't need to pull out every one of these cards. Let's just go ahead and open up one of these packs to show off. We will have, of course, B-roll of everything as we're going through, and talk a little bit about how these cards work when it comes to the experience of the game.
Yeah, so these cards here, I think they're part of probably, yeah. So these are part
the
of the
Kickstarter exclusive. Yep.
So these are the Kickstarter exclusives, but they pretty much work like any other card. As I said before, you're gonna have a tableau in front of you, and you're gonna be playing these cards into that tableau. The idea is that you'll start creating this pattern like so, expanding that as much as you can, and then slowly growing out your city based on whatever strategy you're trying to focus on. In Everdell, there's going to be different types of strategies that, depending on the cards that you play, are always going to start triggering. Your
cards will link together in really interesting ways. Like your juggler, if you have a circus, will be free to construct, free to build. You can add him to your city. He then has chaining effects that, you know, just know that there are so many different pathways and narratives and things that you can do as you play throughout the course of the game. It is really, really interesting. On the cards here, and we won't go into, like, this isn't a how to play, but on the cards here, you're going to have different regions and zones. You'll have your main title and artwork. You'll have your victory point score if it's in your tableau. You'll have the resources that it costs to build. Pretty standard when it comes to a marketplace. And then each card will have special abilities or things that leverage or layer upon other cards that it is acting off of.
And one of the most interesting thing about certain cards is that they will also trigger depending on the phase that you are in. You'll notice up here in the tree, let me make sure that that's there, yes, that there's a symbol with a small bean sprout on there. Anytime that you see that symbol, cards in your tableau that are already activated, they're going to reactivate. So there's this idea of resource gathering and management as you go through the entire game as well.
Absolutely. Yep. So apparently you're 100% correct. I did not need to get the upgrade pack. However, for those of you that are getting the Kickstarter or a standard edition, this upgrade pack with these coins is totally available. It adds another set of meeples. It looks like the pack of cards that we just opened up, and the metal coins. And we also have our wooden upgrade kit, which apparently I also...
So this was for first-time backers. These were not, like the previous, were not as chunky as these from what I remember.
So maybe I did need this. I don't know. Either way, it is nice to have stuff.
No, yes, of course,
I'll end up mailing this off to one of our Patreon members.
Exactly, yep. Yeah, so I was just checking here to make sure that basically the way that this tableau works is that you're going to have 5 cards in every row with a maximum... No, sorry. You're gonna have 3 rows of 5 cards. So columns of 3, and then rows of 5.
You'll get there, buddy.
Me numbers no good. So
that was words no good though. That you demonstrated that numbers were no good.
Both things. It's both things conjoined and compounded.
One of these other boxes. So
next we're going to
Pearlbrook. This will be the second expansion in the collection in the series. This is the only we always play with Pearlbrook. It's going to add different card mechanics, a whole different tray that extends out into your game state, offering you some other more limited scoring objectives, and then also it's going to add in monuments, which are going to be higher end kind of end game scoring objectives, which if you build your strategy around,
you will very likely win.
Well, I was going to say, my experience is if you build your strategy around, you'll still end up losing by a few points to Jan and William.
We are good players, Jeff.
Respectfully quiet.
Jesse, I can't stay quiet when you're struggling so much with the shrink. It's very difficult to do.
So this is Everdell, the Pearlbrook Collector's Edition by Starling Games.
So here we have, obviously, our rule book. Here they're condensing. There's not 2 separate rule books, for one for the collector and one for the core game.
Is there not?
It's just everything
it's
single.
all self-contained? We didn't always know about the river.
No. You have read enough flavor text.
This is a new one. This is for Pearlbrook.
We've read, we know the context of Everdell. That's all we need.
All right, let me do at one of Spirecrest or one of Belfaire. Then. If you're taking Pearlbrook, we're doing one of those.
So the first thing you'll see when you open the box
come for.
are the monuments that Jesse was talking about. They're going to give you like very high opportunities to gain points here. 25, 20, that's huge in this game.
Additional scoring or worker placement zone, it goes on the side of the other board you have.
This is pretty important as well. These go on top of the main board, and that's how you start incorporating the monuments. So Everdell, in pretty much in every single expansion, you'll notice that it's very modular. You can play without anything that you want. You can pretty much custom make your own experience in a way.
Yep. We also have some new little meeples. We have some penguins. It looks like we have some
crows, I think.
Potentially a platypus.
We have otters.
And then we have frogs. Frogs are going to be our big guys that are actually going to interact with the pond region here. And then finally, I'm going to keep these in here so that the B-roll I show you is related to the expansion that we're talking about. But we have a whole new set of more water-type terrain cards, more mechanics that are going to deal with this new environment that we've introduced. So things that deal with pearls, things that deal with utilizing our frog meeples over here. What is out of everything that this adds, what do you think is the most standout part of this?
Well, these two things. First of all, you're going to get...
pearls are?
Yeah, well, the pearls are a new alternate victory point condition, and they're also a new way of investing those points into potential artifacts and things that you're going to be able to apply that either give you a really powerful benefit at that time, or is just something that you're going to bank for later to gain more points by. These are... So, for example, 1 point for each unique colored card in your city. So these are new ways of scoring victory
end-game
points.
scoring if you can get the resources necessary to accomplish them. But then they also have those monuments, which can be really valuable if you spend the time there as well. So it definitely comes down to you're not going to have time to do everything, so lean into a strategy.
And another really nice thing about this particular expansion box, for those of you that love to have things organized, all of your monuments can, from my understanding, can go stored right here.
Once you get them punched out of the board there. All right, let's bring that tray over. I'll set this off and down to the side. Give me that rule book back. Thank you very much.
And now we're going to move, let's move first into Belfaire. That's going to be our next expansion that we're going to touch on
here. We didn't always know about the river.
No, Jesse. Put that over to the side.
Let me do
We're
Belfaire.
moving forward with this unboxing video, sir.
The whole
We're
point
going
of
to give
these-
people what they want.
Yes, to celebrate flavor text and lore and theme.
That's a completely separate format.
No, it's something that we do. I'm going to read Belfaire's.
No, you're not.
Don't worry about it. While Jan pulls out the components, I'm going to read Belfaire's. Let me read Belfaire's.
Oh my gosh. Actually, if
So-
you're going to read any flavor text, it's probably Spirecrest.
We'll do both
It's the
of
most
those.
epic.
Don't
No,
worry.
we're not going to do
These
both.
are the newest expansions. The newest Kickstarter introduced these. Now, apparently, Everdell's not done.
It is not. There's so
So-
much more coming over.
You know?
Well, they're very intelligent in the way that they approach the game. You know, it's they made it modular intentionally, but every time that they add something to it, it feels like it's, you know, making the game better every single time.
So let's see here. No. It's very short. It's very short. For the last 99 years, the critters of Everdell have been hard at work, building cities in their beloved valley. Now it's time to celebrate. The King and Queen are throwing an unprecedented year-long event to commemorate the 100th year since Everdell's founding. Come on, come all, come and celebrate the Belfaire. That's it. There's no music, anything. It's lovely. It's a party. It's a party.
It is a party. So you'll start noticing that as we start opening all these expansions, we're going to have more and more and more critters. However, the game in its original box, and when you add Pearlbrook, is still going to be 4 players. Belfaire changes that. So Belfaire starts adding components enough so that you can start playing 5 and 6 players. Okay?
Adorable little frogs, extra colors to use. Looks like we have our what's that? That's the state bird of
Cardinal.
Kentucky, a cardinal. Yes, I should know that. And a frog? A
Yeah,
toad?
so these are frog ambassadors, and those are probably toads,
Frog,
correct.
yeah, frog people.
One of the most important things that Belfaire adds in addition to, you know, additional players is special player powers. So these cards right here are going to give everyone some type of asymmetric starting ability that they're going to be able to employ throughout the game. In addition to that, instead of using the lovely Evertree, you can substitute that for this board. So this board is going to add some new worker placement features that are now core related.
I am a little sad that the tree's chopped down.
Yes. Well, hey, it might be that we're seeing a plan view of this. So it's like it's cutting digitally the tree, but it's not actually cut down.
I hear what you're saying.
I don't think the critters would actually cut down their Evertree, right? Hopefully. I think that's what happened. And just there's different types of things that we're going to be able to include here, including community events. That's something that all players can kind of fight for in order to get some points at the very end. And in addition to all of that, I feel that Belfaire is the one that adds kind of like the most bling, especially for players.
Oh, really?
Because there's now player boards. In the original, there were no
very
player
nice.
boards.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was in them. Fantastic. So I now can add a little bit of aesthetic and just some fancy locations to my tableau.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And this is specifically so you can store your wooden meeples and you can store and organize all your resources.
I gotta be honest, it's not necessary,
Of course not.
but
It's bling.
don't want anything other than it. It's everything I've wanted.
Yeah, so Belfaire, so in terms of the what I would call the necessity of each expansion, they're all going to add very small things, at least from everything that we've talked to this point. None of them truly change the game.
Well, and I like expansions that incorporate in a natural way. I've said that on the channel before. The big thing for me is all of these expansions feel like things that you add on, like, after you've played the other thing for a while. And even in the rules it says, like, hey, don't mix everything together all at the same time. We're going to do our best to try that at some point.
We are mixing everything.
However, really, these are intended to be modular elements that you mix and match or play based on your type of gaming group and the type of experience you want.
Well, that was until now. Because enter Spirecrest.
Spirecrest. I cannot wait to read the flavor text for this.
You're not, Jesse. We've read enough flavor
I don't
text
know
in
the
this
flavor text
for
for this
unboxing.
one. No, we haven't. This is the whole point of the unboxing videos. Wait till we get to something like Madara. We're starting at the beginning of the book.
And we're ending at the... Okay, no
We're
way.
going through it.
How many pages was that? Like 400?
It was enough that I could probably feed and house an entire flock of ducks within the pages of that book.
Oh my god, yeah, Madara is an achievement in narrative.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
This is Spirecrest. So remember when we said that most of the modules and expansions in the game do very minute changes to the core mechanic? Well, that's all in the past. Spirecrest is going to add completely new elements to the core experience of Everdell that are going to change not only the strategies, but the way that you approach the game.
Yep. All right, let's find out what is going on here. This is the easiest way for us to set it up. Come on, stop. Far beyond the comfortable boundaries of the Everdell Valley, deep into the mysterious and uncharted lands, adventure is waiting to be discovered. Ancient ruins, critters from foreign lands, giants. Gather your traveling supplies and your courage and get ready for a daring journey through the mountains of Spirecrest.
Are you done?
All right.
Yes? Okay.
All right, you need more respect for... If you've made it to this point, leave a comment down below. Flavor text? No flavor text.
In your unboxing videos.
I'm thinking flavor text.
I'm thinking unboxing and talking about the game, right? No?
That's what we're doing.
Well, speaking of,
Even more colors.
more frog ambassadors.
Even more rabbit people.
No, well, actually, no. This is special to this expansion.
There are adventurers.
Yes, exactly. So first of all, we have...
And I am going to open these up because
Yes.
these are their own custom little cards.
They are. So here's our main board. This is a completely new component that's going to get slotted into the bottom of the main core experience. And it's going to be a journey. The idea is that you're going to take your rabid explorers.
Yep.
And they're going to venture out, trying to either gain certain achievements that are shown right here, facing the elements, braving all the dangers that might be on that journey, on that expedition, and then coming back to their village with something of wonder and amazement that could potentially influence the society and make it better. In terms of gameplay, what they're doing is that every time that you start advancing, you're going to start revealing certain conditions that affect everyone on the board
I don't
once
mean
they're
to
to that
interrupt you.
point. What
Have
happened?
you seen these?
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Oh, speaking of, have you seen these?
I haven't yet. You continue talking. I'm going to play with toys.
Oh yeah, those are incredible.
So something about adventuring on your journey to
Yeah,
get
so
to the
so
game?
as you start adventuring and moving across that area or that board, you're going to start revealing certain weather effects that are going to affect everybody that's from that point onwards. It might be things like, hey, during wintertime, no one is going to be able to gain resources, or during this time, this is not going to be able to happen. It's all going to change based upon whatever cards are drawn. And on that journey, you're also going to be able to get some cards that are going to be able to add to your tableau that are not part of that 15 card limit, and that's huge because you still get a lot of benefits. You still get more things that you're going to be able to do without necessarily dampening, no, without necessarily...
You were so close.
So
you were on
close.
a roll. You were going for it. I'm getting lazier as an editor, though, so I'm going to be honest.
No, don't you dare.
Staying in.
Dampening your main strategic focus for the entirety of the game.
Dampening You had two options there. You were right on the first one.
It was happening?
You leaned into dampening.
Oh, it is. What is it then?
Dampening would be like a constant state of moisture.
Okay. And what's the term?
Hampening would be like restricting or preventing you
Hampering.
from
Oh, yeah,
leaning
you're
into.
right. So I was right the first time. Hampening your main strategy. So one of the neat things that the entire Spirecrest expansion does is that I feel it adds another layer of strategy without detracting from the original.
Sure.
Which is what made everybody fall in love with Everdell in the first place. And above all this that we've talked about, it's not just new cards that you're going to be able to add to your tableau, you're also going to be able to add mounts and creatures that you're going to be able to ride that are going to enhance certain characters or certain meeples that you decide to mount them to.
Now, I was curious about this. I have seen some reviews that say be very cautious with how you put these on, and I can already see this plastic is very tight with these wooden painted components. So I'm actually not going to try to squeeze them on. If I'm going to be honest, I will mount it just by that. They're there to keep things contained and held together, which I do appreciate, but plastic molding fitting specific, very, very fine-tuned wooden components, I'd rather not scratch the paint off the top of it.
Okay. So that's what Spirecrest in its entirety is going to add. It's just really, this is a completely new way of approaching the game, and from, like, we haven't had the opportunity yet to play, we will, but it seems like it's going to be a wonderful way of really changing up what we'd expect from Everdell.
We had to open the box so that we could spend some time learning and playing. Now, like I said, Jan has his own copy. We have spent a lot of... every time I go over to his house, this is one of the games that I just repeatedly go, hey, do I play Everdell?
Yeah, it's in the main rotation.
It really is. Either way, that's been a thing.
This has been a huge unboxing.
So
everything from Everdell.
Stuff and things, like, definitely don't... Like, if you're a Patreon backer... bring your money back to your own pocket. It'd probably do better there. If you're
ask for a refund, probably.
A subscriber here, make sure to unclick that bell,
Yep.
desubscribe from the channel. I would even say go back through your history of any time you shared our content.
And just delete it from your feed.
Remove that.
Yeah, completely.
If you've left a comment, please revise or edit that comment to include nothing.
Yeah, maybe just say, like, you guys suck or something.
Leave the edit bubble or something down there. Yeah, well, honestly, if you made it to this point in the video, and you're going to leave a comment, just let us know you got here by leaving the comment, starting it off with, you guys suck.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we want.
Whatever you do, though.
Remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
No, it's thank you at the end.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.